time now for the game preview presented by Ticketmaster here with head coach Kevin Stefanski. Kevin, you guys have one preseason game under your belt against the Packers. Coming off of that one, how do you feel?
A lot to learn from that game. We had a lot of young players playing in their first NFL exposure, if you will. Wasn't perfect, but we expected that, and that's where we spent a lot of time this week identifying some of those things and correcting them. And that's the beauty of this game is you sit in there, you watch the tape, you point it out, and then you get back on the grass and you fix it.
For you guys as a team, what was the biggest takeaway from that one?
I think ultimately what happens, and we know it and we try to prepare everybody for it, is you have to take the practice field to the game field. And what I mean by that is technique. Very, very simple, kind of the basics for young players. You get under the lights for the first time, and there's some things that maybe you don't do as well. So a lot of good things, a lot of things that we can build off of, but some of those things of not taking my technique with me to the game field are the things we talked about.
How does that now translate into this week? You've got joint practices against the new opponent, Minnesota Vikings, here in Berea. How does it translate from game one as you prepare for game two?
Well, it's right back part of the process, and this game is another stepping stone for us, if you will, at getting us ready for the season. We have a really good football team coming in. They're very well coached. We know they have great players. So we'll get 2 good work days versus them here on the fields in Berea. We'll go play Saturday night. So it's an opportunity to go against a scheme that maybe is different than ours. So as you can imagine, our offense goes against Jim Schwartz all day, every day. Our defense goes against Ken Dorsey and our offense. So now we get to go against a different person here in Berea in a controlled setting. And what I mean by that is you'll see a lot of different situations that we'll put the players through, put them through different paces, and have a lot of good work.
And then that work, how does that translate into that game on Saturday?
Yeah, and then another big piece of this. So we'll play the majority of our starters. We'll really practice and get the most of the reps here during the week. Then on Saturday, that will be most of our backups playing on Saturday. Still really important process for whether you're a 1, a 2, or a 3. Doesn't really matter. All this is a really important part of the process.
Now, you already looked ahead a little bit, knowing that Deshaun Watson, the plan is to play him in game 3. So for this game, game 2, to feature those backups, what are you looking for those guys that are looking to make a name for themselves and continue to build into a role?
It's great reps. It's just another turn at this thing, and in particular with the quarterbacks, we get to see Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Snoop Huntley, get to see them in extended action. So really at every position, it allows us to get game reps for our quote-unquote backups and some of controlled setting reps for our starters. But that game will be outstanding. Another opportunity for the guys to go play in front of our home fans.
I know that as coaches, you guys talk to each other before these preseason games. So with that plan in place, what do you know about what the Vikings are planning to show you guys?
Very similar is what and Coach O'Connell and I really planned this way back when, a long time ago. And we kind of see this very similarly, that in week 2 of the preseason, we like to work against each other. Again, I say controlled setting. What that means is, your quarterbacks aren't getting hit. You're not going live per se. You're able to get into a 3rd down situation, a 2-minute situation, a move the ball situation, whereas you can't guarantee that in the game setting. So for us, we get to control it here and then have our backups play in a game setting on Saturday night.
The word of the day after that game 1 seemed to be vanilla, right? That's the preseason in a nutshell. But is that what you expect for the next 2 games too, especially on Saturday?
We do. I know as coaches, as players, as fans, we'd love to do all of it. We've never done that. That's never been our philosophy. We like to keep things really on the practice field that we're getting ready for the season, but our goal has always been keep it very vanilla. Number 1, so you're not showing some of the things, but also number 2, these are players that you want them to play fast, and I think the more scheme you put in for a preseason game, you're really going to slow down your players.
You got to play at Cleveland Brown Stadium in front of those fans. It's not the packed house that you get in a regular season game, but you still have that experience. What was that like for you guys out there?
Well, it was an incredible night. The weather was beautiful. I don't know if we'll get the same this Saturday, but the weather was great. It was great to see the fans back down there. Last time we were in that building, I think was a cold setting. Now we're in there. Our fans are in T-shirts and shorts, so it was definitely different from the last time, but always fun to be in front of our fans. They bring the juice when we get down there. I know our players feed off of that, so we're looking forward to that Saturday night as well.
All right, now how important is it for those guys out there, the ones that are on the sidelines, we're not going to see a lot of starters, to be there to watch the game and to be there for the guys that are getting their moment?
Very important, and really being engaged is what we want them to be. We want them to be cheering on their teammates, following along with what is going on with the offense, the defense, the special teams, and help. There's so many things that our players see over the course of a game that they walk and tell me, and hey, coach, think about this. So we really want that from our guys. We want them to be engaged and certainly supporting their teammates.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, Cam.